Thank you. Now, about 1 in 6 Britons have a criminal record, and research shows those who aren't working are more likely to re-offend. Now, a new study suggests that many offenders don't feel it's worth applying for a job if they have to declare their conviction on the application form. Well, joining me now is social justice campaigner Caroline Drummond from the social justice charity Nacro. Morning to you, Caroline. In all of this, do we have figures on how many people apply for jobs, have to declare their conviction and don't get the work?
Well, as we know, around 11 million people in the UK have a criminal record, and through Nacro's Resettlement Advice Service we hear daily calls from individuals and employers who are confused about what needs to be disclosed on application forms, at what stage of the application process, and also how they go about navigating this fairly complex system. So we know that this is a real issue, and at Nacro we're calling for a fundamental review of the criminal records regime to help employers and individuals navigate this system. So
do applicants have to declare a previous criminal record on an initial form?
Well, currently, some employers have a tick box on an application form to ask about criminal records. But as part of the Business in the Community's Ban the Box campaign, and as a founding member at Nacro, we're advocating that employers should be having that conversation a lot later down the line in the application process to ensure that employers and individuals can have a conversation about whether that criminal record is even relevant to the role, the context around that criminal record, so that we can have a more supportive process to help people have a fair chance to access employment opportunities.
Presumably, this would all depend on the type of conviction you have.
Absolutely, and for some sensitive roles, working with children, vulnerable people, then yes, those checks are in place currently, which means the employer would find out about those. But for the majority of roles, that information isn't necessary up front, and it actually puts a lot of people off applying where they want to move forward with their lives. We know employment is absolutely critical to helping people move forward and create stability.
So it's not a case of saying then that employers should not know about a conviction, it's just they shouldn't know right at the beginning?
Well, what the Ban the Box campaign is saying, and as at Nacro we've always advocated, is that those conversations should be happening later on in the application process. For individuals, as I said, it puts them off applying in the first place when they want to move on, but also for employers, it means that they could be instantly dismissing applicants. And actually, in the context of a skills shortage, it's really important that they have the widest pool available to them.
What do we know about people with a criminal record when they are in the workplace in terms of reliability and all those sort of issues that employers actually really rely on?
Well, we've worked with a number of employers, especially through our employer advice service, that have had really positive, great experiences. And actually, we would say that employers should have a business-as-usual approach to this, have the right recruitment processes and guidance in place, which we can help employers do through our service, to mean that they're actually being less risk-averse at the application process, but having those in place when the applicants are in their roles.
Right. I mean, with all of this, I mean, the biggest message from this is going to be from employers, isn't it, who actually don't have the box, aren't requiring this information at the beginning and subsequently find themselves with good employees.
Absolutely, and we've heard many great stories from employers across different sectors, big employers, small employers, across a number of sectors that have had really positive experiences, and we really want to work with more employers to help them to ban the box as well. I
mean, the big message from this, I mean, there will always be people who say people don't deserve a second chance and all the rest of it. If this actually has a very visible impact on reoffending, then no one loses.
Absolutely. I mean, through our experiences, we know that employment is absolutely critical to helping people move forward. The Ministry of Justice launched their education employment strategy, which goes some way to improving things around this. So, yeah, it's absolutely key, and that's why we fully support the Ban the Box campaign. OK,
Caroline, really good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Got any thoughts on that? At Sky Stephen, at Sky Gillian on Twitter this morning. The sport is heading away in just a moment. Morning, Jamie.
Morning, Stephen. Morning, folks. On the way, India's cricketers edge closer to a bit of haste. Plus, the action from Manchester City's big win against Liverpool last night. We'll hear from both managers on what it means for the title race.